There have been sightings of other strange cryptids around the lake too, including a bird the size of a small plane, said to resemble a prehistoric pterodactyl. But the greatest is the Lake Iliamna creature. If it exists, it would dwarf anything in Alaska. In fact, there's only one obvious comparison: the most famous lake monster in the world, the Loch Ness Monster. Does Lake Iliamna in Alaska really have its own prehistoric monster? Dr. Robert Alley is a retired professor from the University of Alaska and an expert cryptozoologist.
Everyone's heard of the Loch Ness Monster. Well, it stands to reason if there could be a monster in Loch Ness, there could be monsters elsewhere too. There's definitely something there. There have been photos, sonograms, and pictures that have caused waves around the world. Many researchers have hypothesized that Loch Ness could hold a relic population of plesiosaurs, that is, extinct marine reptile.
The head of a plesiosaur would be an exact match for the monster spotted by Thaniel Kiesling when he was out in his canoe.
It had like that arch,
like a jaw.
like the snout came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good match for the traditional image of the Loch Ness Monster. And this Loch Ness photo from the 50s seems to show a huge water creature with humps, just like the monster seen by Nathan Hill. Every year, 1 million people visit Loch Ness in the hope of catching a glimpse of the mysterious beast. Compared to Loch Ness, Lake Iliamna is remote and isolated. Few tourists come here, and only about 600 people live on its shores. The lake is also over 50 times bigger than Loch Ness. If finding the Loch Ness Monster is difficult, then what are the chances here? There's one man who thinks the monster may already have been found.
We got a quick giveaway here at this Memorial Day weekend. Americans will take time to remember and honor those who died while serving our country.
Local radio DJ Bob Bird has unearthed evidence that back in 1967, the monster of Lake Iliamna was not only found, but caught.
In a plane like this, Chuck Krapaschutz, who was a missionary, Christian missionary, spotted from the air and radioed some friends, I've got this large fish swimming right underneath the surface.
Word quickly spread around the airwaves that this could be the lake monster, and the idea was mooted to try to catch it.
Somebody with a sense of adventure took a float plane, put on some probably very strong halibut line with large hooks, and cinching them to a cleat like that, tossed the meat into the water. Well, as he lollygagged on the floats itself, before too long, his plane was being towed around.
Beneath the surface, some giant creature with immense strength was pulling the plane across the water. Eventually, the monster broke free. On inspecting the damage, it was clear that it was well beyond the capabilities of any known lake creature.
His plane was towed around. He looked at the hooks. They'd been straightened out, and maybe others had been bitten off.
It would take unbelievable strength to straighten out the large tuna hooks and bite through the thick stainless steel cables. Out on the biggest lake in Alaska, cryptozoologist Cliff Barrickman and fisherman Richard are using sonar to try to find one of these elusive beasts. Mysterious shapes pass by beneath them, but it's impossible to identify what they are. Is this a plesiosaur? Head up, swimming deep beneath them.
It's something moving across the screen.
That's a big one, whatever it is.
The best image Cliff has is the video taken by Nathan Hill, the local borough manager. It's this video we're keen to have analyzed, and we're showing it to Dr. Ali.
I'm looking here at a video of Lake Iliamna, and we can actually see 3 objects above the water that appear to be curved and not linear like a wave would be. So it's suggestive of a biological creature, and in fact, if you had to compare it with something, with any one thing, you'd want to compare it with those 3-hump little statuettes that you see in the gift shops at Loch Ness, showing head, middle, bump, 1, 2, 3. And you know you don't have schools of porpoise jumping in Lake Iliamna, and it's doubtful if 3 sturgeon are going to arise. What this suggests is something that's swimming in the manner not of a reptile or a fish with a lateral undulation or amphibian, but rather a mammal. This is a tremendously exciting thing to watch. Possibly unidentified species or fossil mammals that we think are extinct may actually still be living trapped in fresh water. It would suggest just as equally a plesiosaur. So there are those who say it's a mammal, there are those who say it's got to be a reptile. We know it's got to be something, something's in there, but what is it?
Out on the lake, Cliff and Richard find no conclusive evidence. Considering the size of the task in hand, this is no great surprise. According to scientists, even with a large number of lake monsters, sightings could still remain very rare.
If you have salty water at the bottom of the lake that is oxygenated by some geological phenomena, you could have some really unusual animals living down there that could stay down there, be inactive, and then when the salmon show up, go eat your 5,000 pounds of salmon and then just go back down there.
For those who've seen the monster, an unknown species certainly fits the bill.
It's easy to dismiss what we call myths, what we call legends, until you've actually witnessed it yourself. And then you realize that what people might refer to as a myth, what people might refer to as a legend, is actually local knowledge. What I saw was perhaps its own unique type of species, as yet undiscovered.
At first, I wasn't convinced. I'm a pretty skeptical scientist. I like to hold in my hand what we're talking about. But it's hard to talk to anybody out there that hasn't interacted with this animal or seen it. You talk to all these people, and it's just convincing there's something out there.